it's Zach here. Afternoons on the Bone. We're coming at you live from the Napa Smith Brewery, the brand new location here in Vallejo, California. Joined by a couple of guests here. Don Barkley, who is the Master Brewer Emeritus.
That's true.
And Stein, the Master Brewer. Now, explain to me this title, Don.
Well, the Emeritus, and I've just earned this title because at this moment, I've actually passed the torch over to Stein.
And I've taken
Emeritus means that I've been brewing beer for a long time, and I finally get to kick back a little bit and pass the brewing torch over here to Stein.
That's
so
true.
He's officially a master brewer for the Napa Smith Brewery.
I'm so intrigued by this. You guys get to spend your days getting creative, coming up with these new brews. Tell me what inspires some of these creations.
You know, I like to sort of wander through the malt room, and we have, 25, 30 different malts, and that's really where, all these things start. And so you get to think about color and think about flavor and think about what style of beer we're pushing forward. And, then we wander back to the hops and sort of stare at everything. And, some hops are fruity and some are piney and some are smoky and try to put together and really sort of hit something that you can really only taste in your imagination.
Yeah, so how many different types of brews did you create throughout your career?
Oh, good God. I've created a whole bunch of beers. I actually started with the New Albion Brewing Company, the very first microbrewery to open up in the United States. It's no longer in business, but when we closed the doors, I went up and started the Mendocino Brewing Company, where I created Red Tail Ale and Eye of the Hawk and all the rest. And then in 1997, created the Napa Smith Brewery down here in Napa, California. And now that Stein is on board, not only do we have these good traditional beers, but we got his nutty stuff too.
Yeah.
So we're really doing some fun stuff. And when we create beers, I'd look at a scene and a special time and spot, and then what beer would go best with that moment.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
So tell me now, with all these creations, do you have a favorite one, or is that like choosing between your children?
I like to think about it more, what time of day is it? What time of year is it?
Yeah.
Is it hot outside? Is it cold outside? Because, when it's 100 degrees outside and, we're back out here in the production floor and, you're sweating and you're working, I really just want to come in here and have a Pilsner more than anything. But sometimes you're out there and it's raining and it's 40 degrees and man, the bonfire sounds just absolutely amazing. And like Don said, you really tie those times of year and where you are and all of these things together to make your favorite beer. Part of what I do here, or what I'm beginning to do, is sort of create a hyper-seasonal program. So I'm trying to push a new beer that Napa Smith has never made before about every 6 weeks. And so, some of these we're introducing new hops to our repertoire. We're introducing new styles. So, the one that I might reach to right now on an early morning at noon, where it's, 75 degrees out, might be our new Hypotenuse New England IPA. So very, very hop driven, but not very bitter. So we concentrate on hop flavor. And I think that's where Napa Smith has really grounded itself for a long time, is where we are more concerned with the balance of a beer. There's been a sort of a movement to put as many hops into a beer as you can possibly stuff in there, and I really want the malt to shine as well, and balance those things in. There is a time and a place for incredible hop flavor and bitterness, but at the same time I also want some delicate things. Yeah. So what sort of inspired the California Lager was, we want to make a nice crisp lager style beer, but give it something, that is fundamentally California, which is hops.
Yeah.
We've known, California's been known for hops for so long, and big hoppy beers. So we don't want to make it a hoppy lager or, an India Pale lager. But we do want it to be driven by hop flavor and some hop aromatics, while still being a very approachable and drinkable and lovely lager style.
It's one of those things where Napa Smith Brewery has always been driven by the technology of beer, and we're enlightened by the creativity of beer.
Well,
so that's what.
For beer drinkers everywhere, I'm thankful for guys like this to put some thought into it, because I don't put a lot of thought into it. I just pick it up and drink it. But I'm glad that there's somebody taking care of the science behind it.
But you know what you like.
So I'm enjoying
and you know what you don't like.
Absolutely. So we were almost 10 years ago in Napa.
That's right.
What brought you to Vallejo?
The Napa Smith Brewery, of course, Napa, right? So we look at Napa as it's our home. But the facility that we were in didn't allow us to actually expand and grow in the way that we wanted to do, and to do it in a method that was efficient for production.
Vallejo is this really central location. It's proximity to the city. We've got the ferries. You know, we're right at the edge of 37, which is where a lot of people come off as the gateway going up valley into Napa. So it does give us this really nice central location on where it's easy to get here.
So here at the tap room at Napa Smith Brewery, what are the hours?
Noon to 9.
Every day.
We're open.
We're
We're
open.
ready for people to come by and have a good beer.
Everybody come on up to the Napa Smith Brewery in Vallejo. Stein, Don, cheers to you. Thank you
Cheers.
for this, and I can't wait till I
Cheers
come
to good
back
beer.
and bring some others.
Cheers.
Cheers.